I want to thank you very much for coming out today. Everybody warned me of the snow and the sleet and the rain, and then it's this gorgeous New York City day. How about that? Can't get better than that. And I want to welcome you. This is the beginning of our Salesforce1 World Tour. This is our first stop. We just came from Dreamforce in November, where we had more than 140,000 people registered to come through the show, which was a phenomenal experience. How many of you were at Dreamforce? Raise your hands if you're there. Oh, great, fantastic. Well, you know that was an amazing show, and we wanted to take that energy on the road and to bring it out to you, to motivate you, to excite you, to energize you, to inspire you. But mostly we came to New York to thank you. And that's the most important thing that we want to do. We want to thank you. We want to thank each and every one of you for everything that you do for us every single day. And thank you for a great Dreamforce. Thank you for a great year at Salesforce.com. It's been a great year. And we came here to thank you. And we recognize that it's you, our customers, that we are here to serve, that we are in business for. And we just want to take a moment to thank you. And at the end of Dreamforce, my team came to me and they did a phenomenal job putting on Dreamforce. It was awesome. And we had like 1,300 sessions, and we had these great keynotes with Marissa Mayer and Sheryl Sandberg, and Meg Whitman was there, and we had all these great folks. And the team, well, what did you want to improve? What did you want to improve? And I'm like, well, the speakers were great, the venue was great, the demonstrations were great, the technology was great, and the feedback was really positive, really powerful. And so, but they always want to, we have a kind of Japanese word as Kaizen, continuous improvement approach at Salesforce.com, which I think every business needs to have. You're constantly looking to improve, to get better, to get stronger. My friend Kiyo Toyota, the CEO of Toyota, has a great phrase: better, 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 never best. And I love our team because they've really embraced that. They really include that in how they run their business. We also call that a beginner's mind, to kind of be able to step back and say, we know we can make this better. We know we can make this even broader. We know there's something new coming. We know there's some advancement. What else can we do? And I said, well, I guess if I had one thing that I'd really like to do, I guess if I had asked those 140,000 people to each bring a can of food with them, because we have such a terrible homeless problem and hunger problem in San Francisco, we could have collected a massive amount of food. And so when we came here to New York, I want to thank all of you for bringing 4,000 pounds of food with you today. It's completely amazing, so thank you. And I love that part of Salesforce.com, and I love that part of business, and I love that part of the work that we have with our customers. Of course, I'm sure all of you know Salesforce.com has become the #1 company in enterprise cloud computing in the world, the #1 customer relationship management company in the world, world's most innovative company by Forbes, something we could have never imagined, now 3 years in a row, and Fortune's most admired company. And that all comes out of our technology model and our business model. We took this idea that we could create, software as a service, and also that it could be pay as you go. New technology model, a new business model, but we also said, okay, how do we drive that forward? How do we continue to focus on innovation, on growth? And we've seen just a spectacular result out of this year. In fact, you probably saw we had a 36% growth driven by tremendous customer success. So thank you for all of that. We delivered our first $1 billion a quarter, which is a huge accomplishment for any company, but especially in the software industry. There's been very few companies. But as we delivered that first $1 billion quarter, what was exciting for us was that we also continue to maintain our pole position and cadence as the fastest growing software company of our size and scale in the industry. And in our industry, growth is precious and it's difficult to get. And it's something that we value at Salesforce, that growth and market share and the ability to change the world is very much reflected in, are you able to get customers on board? Are you able to get those customers to adopt your technology, to really use the technology, to embrace it, to build the ecosystem, to build the partnerships, and then to deliver the billion-dollar quarter, and then to see this tremendous growth rate at the same time for this year has been really fantastic, and I just want to commend my team and thank them for this great thing. And it's not just about a new technology model, and it's not just about a new business model. Both are very important. It's not just about growth, which is very important, because if you're not growing in our industry, you're dying. And so you want to grow, you want to expand, you want to create new things, you want to have visions for what's possible, what's coming, because in our industry, innovation is a continuum. Things are constantly getting lower cost and easier to use. And you want to be riding that continuum and making those changes. And those are the keys to being successful in our industry. So you have this awesome growth, but you have to get back to that you can do more with a company than just make money, build products, hire great people. You can also give back. You can also provide service. You can also deliver compassion. You can also deliver generosity back to the community. And we were so fortunate that when we started our company now about 15 years ago, amazingly, 15 years ago, we put 1% of our equity and 1% of our profit and 1% of all of our employees' time into a 501c3 public charity that has become a phenomenal global non-governmental organization, nonprofit organization. We've given away over 500,000 hours of community service. We've given away over $50 million of grants. We run over 20,000 nonprofits for free, and we've inspired other companies in our industry, and we lecture them and we berate them and say, you can do this. You can also have 1-1-1. So if you're a partner of ours or if you're a friend of ours, do this, because you know what? Nothing makes you happier, nothing will make your life better than actually giving to others and having the generosity. And when you look back, your company is going to be valued not just by what you've created, but your company is going to be valued by what have you given back. And that's a great way to value a company. And so I inspire So I want to inspire all these great companies like Google and Dropbox and Box and Workday and a lot of companies that are here who've now adopted this 1-1-1 model, because we need models, we need ideas on how to structure giving back and how to give service. And this is also my favorite time in these presentations that we do, not just at Dreamforce, but around the world. But if you're with a nonprofit or you're with an NGO, would you just stand up and be recognized if you're with a nonprofit or an NGO? Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for that. Those are the people who are doing God's work. And the reason that I really want those folks to stand up and be recognized, because it's our commercial customers, the folks who remain seated, who can add the most value to those nonprofits and those NGOs, because you have the time, the talent, the treasure. You have the ability inside yourself and inside your company to give back so easily to those folks who have dedicated their lives. They're the lucky ones, actually, because the happiest people I know are the ones who have just able to give all day long, people running nonprofits and NGOs. So partner with them, and some of their happiness is going to rub off on you. And those are great organizations. But anyway, I love spotlighting one of those. And you come to New York, and it's easy to do because there's so many great nonprofits and so many great NGOs here in the New York area. And one I want to profile today is the Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America film. I think all of us know, owe a huge debt of gratitude to all of our veterans for their putting their lives on their line. I don't think we can do enough for them, and sometimes we're not doing enough for them. And this is a great organization. In fact, one of my mentors, General Colin Powell, I had the opportunity to recently speak to, and we mentioned that we were going to be profiling them here in New York City, and he's worked with them before. And let's take a look at this great organization, the Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America. Okay.
Community is everything. Community is the backbone of any functioning military unit, and it's the backbone of our organization and our entire movement. The mission of IAVA is to empower Iraq and Afghanistan veterans. They're really tough, and they've been through a lot, and they've got great skills. And what they need now are the tools to empower themselves to get to the next level. We
work on advocacy, awareness, and assistance programs, and we try to help them in healthcare, both mental and physical, education, employment, and in building a sense of community.
Retaining the sense of community when you come out of the military is very difficult. I was in Baghdad one week and in Brooklyn the next. I felt alone, I felt isolated, and I didn't know where I could find people like me. In the old days, there was a place where vets could come and wear funny hats and drink beer and tell war stories. The old way was a veterans hall, but what it was a community. The future is IAVA, and it's online, it's interconnected, and it's everywhere.
Salesforce has been an absolute game changer when it comes to building bridges and building communities when we come home, especially when we're talking about our next iteration of Community of Veterans.
Community of Veterans is a social network that we built. It's veterans only. They have conversations, they talk to each other and share the challenges they're going through. It didn't have all the functionality that we wanted it to have, so we started looking at products that would enable us to take Community of Veterans and evolve that into something that was social, that'll tie together everything from our rapid response referral program to our advocacy work to our case management system. Luckily for us, Salesforce began to roll out Communities. Most of the functionality we needed was available right outside the box.
Communities is a perfect fit for our community of veterans. Rucksack is another app that was built entirely on Salesforce in 6 weeks. We consider it our Ticketmaster for vets.
The most shining example of how we use technology every day is our rapid response referral program. Thanks to Salesforce, IAVA can use technology to stop suicides, to put people in housing, to get them jobs, and to send them back to school.
I don't think before Salesforce, we would have had the ability to track and to record data and to do the cases the way that we do it now.
If you have a good set of boots or a good weapon in the field, you're going to rely on it every day, and that's what Salesforce has been for this organization.
I think the support that's available both from the company itself and the foundation is first rate.
I would definitely say that Salesforce is helping IAVA save lives.
I wish I had Salesforce when I was in Iraq.
All right. All right, please welcome Paul. All right, Paul, welcome.
Thank you very much. Welcome to New York.
Thank you, Paul, and great to be back with you. And as I was mentioning, I was talking to General Powell, and he commended your work, and I know you've had some great interactions with him. Tell us about your organization. Tell us why it's so important, and tell us what the people here in this room and who are watching online can do to help you.
Our mission is simple: to connect, unite, and empower the next generation of leaders. 2.3 million men and women have served in Iraq and Afghanistan, and they're coming home to communities nationwide. And we don't think they're a charity, we think they're an investment. They're dynamic, they're entrepreneurial, they're tough, they're hardworking, a lot like Salesforce. And they are ready and standing by to be a next generation of leaders. And everybody in this room can be involved. We don't want you to just thank us, we want you to join us. So we want your time, we want your energy, we need your money, and there are fights ahead, and we're going to need all the support of everyone in this room and everyone around this country.
Well, that's fantastic, and let me ask you, what's been your biggest surprise working in our ecosystem, with our technology, with our partners? What has surprised you? You spent a lot of time around us. I think you even were recently in San Francisco. Tell us about that.
The energy. I mean, everybody cares about our veterans, and they're looking for an on-ramp. And it doesn't matter who you voted for, how you feel about the war. Everyone understands we have a moral obligation to support this generation of men and women. And when you put that flag up and issue that call, people answer. And I think today in this room, a lot of you are hearing about this issue for the first time. You're going to get involved. You're going to get your families involved. And we can create a generation of dynamic leaders who are going to go on to be teachers, business leaders, politicians, and they're going to change the world. That's really what we think. The problem is the solution.
Okay, tell us one last thing. Partners. Are partners helping? Is it Salesforce, or you see the ecosystem also coming?
Absolutely, Salesforce and the entire ecosystem. Salesforce has been a game changer for us. Everything we do nationwide, from our events to our suicide prevention networks to our advocacy, is all interlinked around a Salesforce backbone. And Salesforce Community is going to help us create this next generation of a veterans hall, which is going to change the entire landscape, not just for the veterans community, but for the nonprofit space, and we think the entire world. So it's incredibly powerful, and Salesforce is the beans and bullets in our fights ahead to stop suicide and unemployment, to get people off the streets.
All right, great job, Paul. Well done.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And all right, and are we all on board to help Paul today? Raise your hand if you want to help Paul. You have an idea to help Paul. All right, we got people here who are going to help you. All right, I'm going to follow up with each one of them. They're going to make sure that they follow through with you today. It's a great organization. I'm so glad Paul is here, and that we can talk about that. And double down on what we can do to support our veterans. So thank you, Paul, for your great leadership. Thank you for everyone at the IAVA for what you're doing. We've worked with them for a while, and they're a fantastic, fantastic group.